Hi, Dan with GenTech Scientific here, and today we're going to be showing you how to do a preventative maintenance on your Agilent 6890N FID flame ionized detector. First off, we have the chimney. Some people call it the castle or the chimney, either or. And this is your igniter. What we want to do is unplug the igniter cable. You have a wrench, 5/16, and then just go ahead and just back that out of there. Now, we're going to be replacing this as a consumable. These are just thumb tight, usually. We just want to unscrew the chimney, and underneath you will find the FID collector. The collector is what the sample goes through before it sends it in and does all of the special information. So you have the collector, top and bottom. And you take your Torx 20 screwdriver, and we're going to remove the 3 screws holding down the housing. Now, when we remove the housing, we want to make sure to be careful of the spring. We don't want to damage, we don't want to bend, pull, extend, anything that sits inside of the collector. So when we're removing everything, we want to be mindful of that piece there. Next, we're going for the jet, which is inside of here. You want to use a 1/4-inch nut driver. Put it right down inside and back that out. Now, most people use tweezers, or there's special tools depending on what you have, what availability to get the FID jet out of there. And there's your FID jet. So for the FID jet, there are 3 different types depending on your application and your FID style. So we have the standard FID and the adaptable FID. The adaptable, you can hook up a purge packed inlet with this. The standard is only a capillary column. So we have the standard FID jet, we have the adaptable FID jet, and then we have a universal FID jet that'll work with either of them if you're not sure which one to go with. For our application, we have a standard, or we have the adaptable. My apologies. Next, we have the silicone washer on the base of the FID housing. Sometimes these get a little gummy. They take a lot of heat. Simply pull that off, and we're going to replace that as well. So now we have a new silicone washer. Just get that back on there. Make sure it's nice and snugged back up to the bottom. Okay. And then the column has to sit inside of the jet. So we want to remove the jet. So it'll be inside of there on the inside. So if you try to put the jet in with that in, you can pinch it, you can break it, you can cramp it. You're not going to get a proper signal, proper chromatography. So make sure that is out. Install your jet. And we want to tighten it down until it stops, and then just about a 1/16 of a turn. Does not need to be over tightened. You can wrench these down and do damage to them, so we do not want to do that. We have our new FID collector. We want to put the collector back inside of the housing, and then from here install the chimney back on to the FID housing. And with the hole going to this side, we want to make sure that's in there proper, and give it a little wiggle, little pull back and forth. We want that spring to be realigned back inside of the collector. If you put it in and it's off to the one side or the other, you won't get ignition, you won't get signal, you'll have a lot of issues with your chromatography. So we want to give that a little wiggle, make sure that that's in there good and tight. And then let's reinstall the 3 screws up top. Again, they don't have to be over tightened, just snug. Okay. Now we're going to put our new igniter cable on. So we want to make sure we have the brass washer going into the chimney. Make sure not to strip this, otherwise you'll destroy the chimney and have to replace that as well. Just a nice, snug, with your 5/16, just a slight bit more. Don't need to over tighten it. Put our chimney into a nice position where the igniter wire's out of the way. And we take our igniter plug, connect them together, and then we are ready to light. Final step, let's install the column back in to the instrument. Maybe. There we go. Now, what you want to do when installing the column is you can use the measurement tools, but as Agilent recommends, you push your column until it stops, and then we want to just back it off 1 to 2 millimeters, and then take 2 wrenches, 1 5/16, 1/4 inch. If you have the adaptable, if you have a standard, you wouldn't have to do it with 2. Give it until it's snug, and then just about 1/4 more, 1/8 more, just a little bit. Again, we don't want to over tighten this down. We just have a graphite ferrule in here that you can crush, and you can also break your column, and then you will get poor repeatability, poor chromatography. I'll make sure that that's all in there good and right. And then we are ready to shut her down and start it back up and start taking sample again.